You with the program Code Breakers. So, code breakers are the ones who do not follow the rules. Codes are the rules, and the code breakers are the ones who do not follow the rules, not necessarily to, they break the rules not necessarily to harm anyone. No, they do not uh, break the rules to harm anyone, but to uh, spread what is true and natural in the uh, in in the universe to everyone else out there. So this is the program, The Code Breakers, and I am Sahar Ramandeep. A little bit about myself because we are meeting here for the first time. So uh, I will talk about myself on three fronts: my health front, my professional front, and my education front. So academically, I hold two master's degrees. One is in English, and the other one is in philosophy. And I was doing PhD in philosophy, which I would definitely like to complete one day. It's burning inside, and it's like it wants to come out that the research work that I have already done, it wants to be on the paper. It is already on the paper, but not submitted to the university, anyways. So that's about my academic part. And why I did not complete my PhD, it was because um, I was actually, the bipolar disorder befriended me some 15 years ago. So I do want to talk about that also because I know there are many parts of the country, of the world, of in on the earth where the mental health issues are not given proper attention that they deserve. So I would definitely, in future episodes of the show, I will keep on talking about that also, my experiences and how I uh, got out of this structure. Not structure, but structureless structure, the bipolar disorder, something that's what I like to, how I like to put it. Like there are two poles of the earth, the North Pole and the South Pole, and one is tossing in between the emotions, the happiness, the depression, and you're tossing here and there. So that is what bipolar depression is. And professionally, I have done television in the past. I have done theater and stage shows and things like that, a lot of stuff. So here it is all about myself. So if any, so this program is about who we are, who we are in the sense that do we follow the treaded path or we make our own path. So that is what we'll be talking about. And in this program, I want you guys to make your own path. If you write, today is the time you come in front of everyone. And even if you don't write, even then it is the time to come in front of everyone, pick up the pen and say your words. So, uh, I would request you to, and I invite you to send me your poems and your short stories, 1 to 2 pages, so that we can cover it up in this program. So you please send those to me. The phone number is displayed on the screen at the bottom on the red stripe, and you can send WhatsApp your poems, your stories to me, and I will share them with the world with your name and the information that you want to include. I would limit it to not much, but still, I would keep it to your name, your city, and that's it. So, To his program that we are going to talk about today, I wrote from end to beginning. The From end to beginning. Wait a minute. From end to beginning, Albert Camus, The Outsider. So I would like to take you to the uh, uh, to the end of the novel. But before that, I would like to discuss a little bit about the plot of of this novel. This novel is in first person narrative, and it is more like um, an existentialist kind of a writing. Existentialism, if you ask me, existentialism was the movement, the philosophical movement, which started somewhere in the late 18th century, and it came to its full bloom in the 20th century in the world during the world wars, when there was a lot of mm, bloodshed, violence, ambiguity, no clarity of things, no certainty. So at that time, they just this existentialism came to its prime. So, what is existentialism? As Sartre has said, existence precedes essence. So, any essence that you try to describe the human life with, or even a human being with, that is uh, how it is, any essence, any definition that you want to give to a human being is much broader than that. He defies all definitions, and he doesn't fit into any frame. So that's what existentialists say, and they have quite a few mm, not quite a few, but a few. For example, absurdity, uh, nothingness, nausea, stuff like that. So they talk about it and specifically when we are talking about Albert Camus, who's outsider, the outsider, also translated as the stranger from French. So whose novel, Albert Camus' novel, we are going to discuss. So Albert Camus, for him, absurdity was like putting of two incompatible things together in a way that they cannot escape each other. So, for example, for example, uh, Albert Camus gives example of the world, the man, and the relationship together, and they're putting together. So, man is the rational person. He's rational. He asks questions. He needs answers. He uh, he wants to change things. He wants to get things better. So these things are all that uh, uh, a rational human being wants. And for this very reason, the rational human being has devised so many stories. Stories, for example, you taking the term from Yuval Noah Harari. So, stories is even a religion is a story. Even a religion is a story. Even society is a story. So, uh, the politics is a story. History is a kind of story. So, we have created so many myths around us. Myth is a story. So, we have created so much around us that we are not ready to recognize that there is actually no order. So that's how it is. So the world, when we ask something from the world or the universe or from God, for example, we ask, hey God, why is there so much evil in the world? If you are the caretaker of all, why do you let your children suffer? For example. Or, for example, why is there death? Why is there suffering? So all these questions, they do come to our mind. We when look at these things, when we look at misery in the world, when we look at death and hunger and and violence and people dying, so we all feel like there should be an answer to this, there should be solution to this, but what solution? There is no solution. So this is the irrational world. So there is the rational man, and then there is the irrational world. Okay, they are okay. Man is rational, he's looking for his reasons. World is okay, it's silent, it's numb, it doesn't say anything. But when both of them are put together, for example, this rational man has to live with somebody who's completely irrational. So it the senses, the result of that situation that comes out is not a very good one. So welcome to all my friends who are watching at this time, and I'm really grateful and I'm really thankful you are here and that you're watching this show. And I request you to participate. You can write your name, simply a message like, hello, my name is this and this, and I'm watching from this part of the world. So you can write that, and that would be a great idea. I'll be able to introduce myself to you. I have tried to introduce myself to you anyways, but I will be able to know you also, that who I am talking to. So we were talking about the rational man and the irrational world. And when they're put together, because man has his queries, he and in the time of world wars, in time like world wars, when the misery is at its peak, you must have experienced the similar kind of emotions during the COVID-19 period. So there is death, everybody is dying all around, and you have resources, maybe they're not enough, or they're not good enough. So we don't have an answer. So, and nobody's there to answer us. We are just living in this era of uh, infotech and the information technology. Everybody is like, we are uh, looking for so much of information, but we really do not know what exactly the knowledge is out of it. We are living in the deluge of information and uh, no wisdom, no knowledge is there. So, but at that time, when Camus lived and he wrote, by the way, he was a Nobel laureate. He was well recognized for his political as well as philosophical and literary texts. So he was, when he wrote, he was there was no information available anywhere. People had to go to libraries, walk, look for the books, and choose one book, and then nobody knows if they got the right thing or not. But now everything is on our tips. So in that time period when nothing was available and the thirst for knowledge was so much, we want not only for knowledge from the outside world, but the inner queries. Why I am, why I am here, why I am being. So all these questions, they popped up in the rational mind and they struck with the stone wall of silent world, and what came out, the result, the cries, that is the absurd. So in this novel, Camus writes about an absurdist hero who is more like, uh, who is like, okay, if it is, it is. If it is not, it is not. But nothing matters. Nothing matters in the end. For example, uh, okay, so for example, he is in a lady, his girlfriend wants to marry him. She proposes, and the guy is like, okay. And she wants to know, do you love me? He says, no, I don't. But yes, it doesn't matter if you would want me to marry you. So, in the end of the whole thing, at the end of the whole thing, nothing matters. Either this way or that way, everything is meaningless. And by the end, there is uh, nothing left to grab upon to survive. For example, I will give you an example of his. I will give you example. I will read out first paragraph to you. His mother has died. The name is Mursal. Mursal's mother has died, and how he is announcing it. Mother died today. Yes, mother died today. His expression is as plain and as blank as that. Mother died today, or maybe yesterday. I do not know. The telegram from the home says, your mother passed away, funeral tomorrow, deep sympathy. Which leaves the matter doubtful it could have been yesterday. So, the news of mother's demise does not enforce those feelings in him which a normal person would have. Mother, oh my god, mother is mother, mother is next to god, mother is above god. So mother died, and he's not feeling anything, that there is no more mother to talk to, but he's only thinking about, pondering about, okay, today I got the telegram, and it may have been today or it may have been yesterday. So that is the kind of distance that this person, this Mersault, uh, maintains uh, from the universe, from the world, from his own inner being. Okay, this uh, thing is not peculiar. This startling kind of a beginning is not peculiar only to the outsider, but his other books, for example, the myth of Sisyphus, it begins with, there is but one truly serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide. So you see how he is talking about um, how he's talking about suicide, only the only and only philosophical problem. It's nothing else matters. It is suicide again. It is life. So, friends, I'm still waiting for your poems and your stories. You can share it here on the computer, or you can share it with the on the WhatsApp number that I have provided on the screen. So, this is how abruptly Camus likes to start his works. So he says, judging whether life is or is not worth living amounts to answering the fundamental question of philosophy. So there is no other fundamental question, it's just the life. Is life worth living? So here it becomes clear, is it what living? And in his other book, The Rebel, he says that life is, he talks about suicide, philosophical suicide, and the physical suicide. Physical suicide, he talks here in the myth of Sisyphus also. So he touches there about about the physical suicide, and then he talks about the philosophical suicide. So, physical suicide is when one is completely um, uh, distressed by the world. It's not one event that leads you to suicide, it's a series of events that leads you to suicide. So it's not only one moment that you feel like, for example, he gives example of an old man who died after, who committed suicide after his daughter died. Or the argument that Camus gives is that no uh, doubt the death of the daughter was a very big reason. But then there are other moments which uh, undermine him. So, for example, a friend may have not talked to him properly that very day, or the day before something else like that would have happened, could have happened. So, that is a philosophical suicide. It's not one incident that defines you, it is the whole of the universe that defines you. So, uh, that said, we come to philosophical suicide. Philosophical suicide is when we take refuge in something which is not true. For example, nationalism, a political ideology, a religious ideology, or anything like that. When you start finding that solace somewhere which is false, that is the philosophical suicide. So, in this novel, Merceau refuses a suicide, not a physical suicide, not a philosophical suicide at all. So, what happens is, sorry, let me check. I don't know if the video is still playing with you. Uh, Okay, the video is playing. So I was just on my end. I cannot see the video playing here. It's frozen. So we were talking about the philosophical suicide and Mercer. Mercer is he does. what he wants. He doesn't stop anywhere. He is, he doesn't, it doesn't matter to him if his mother died. He is, what mattered to him was if she was alive. And when she was no more alive, it doesn't matter. He's so brutally honest. Then he says, as he talks to his girlfriend, Mary, that if you want to marry me, I do not have any objections, but I do not love you. If there were anybody else, I would love this, I would behave the same way. So nothing matters. And when, by the end of part one, he kills an Arab, he doesn't know how it happens. The sun, the heat, the water, all these images, all these symbolisms, when they are looked upon. For example, he says the sun was getting to my head, or it was having my eyes, the sweat was going into my eyes and all that stuff. And he doesn't want to walk a little bit, he wants to make himself comfortable first of all, even at the funeral. So when he's walking behind his mother's funeral, he is not he's not concerned about what has happened to his mother, but he's only concerned about what is happening to him. So with that, when he kills the Arab, he is more like uh, mm, in the same way. The heat, the heat is bothering him, the sun is bothering him. The Arab takes out the knife, and it knife the glitter from the knife hits his eyes hard, and then he just wants to be in the water. That is the soothing, the relief, the relieving part of the thing for him. So that's where he relaxes, loves to the way he loves to relax. And he knows the Arab is there on the way to the sea. They're on the beach. The Arab is sitting by a rock, and there is the sea. He has to cross the Arab to reach the sea. He knows he could run away, but he doesn't. He simply keeps on moving toward the water, just because of his own passionate uh, uh, sense of his body, of his emotions. He's not emotionally intense. He just knows of himself. Actually, he's so settled about the world and the emotions that nothing bothers him. And the only thing that bothers him is his body, because it's the actual thing, and it does bother him. So when he reaches the Arab, he finally ends up shooting him. And then the trial starts. And in the trial, he is accused more of not having cried at his mother's funeral than having killed the uh, Arab. He is talked about as morally bankrupt, and he is said Mr. Antichrist. So these kind of things are talked about himself, but winding it up, in the last part, oh, I will come to the end now, the last paragraph of this Give me a second, please. I'm trying to find my book over here. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here he goes. He was approached by the this thing, the chaplain. He wants him to admit to God in the to admit to the authority of God, at least when he is facing death. So he is not ready to do that. He's settled down. To him, nothing matters. He's living with his passions, and passions have been hurt. He has been his passions have been like questions to the world, to the universe, to God, but he has never found any answer anywhere. They have been hurt. the His thoughts and emotions have been hurt. And so that's why he doesn't want to go in front of any God. And For example, see, he does not. If I look at The Rebel by Albert Camus, it's a philosophical work. And in that, he says that rebel is the person who has said a no, but he hasn't renounced. If I have an inner integrity, there it's okay when you're doing it. Anything against doing against it. But the time that it will your actions will touch my boundary line, then it will be a problem. So this is what is happening uh, in this passage. Okay, he's sure. Actually, I was sure of myself, sure about everything, far surer than he, the chaplain, sure of my present life and the death that was coming. That, no doubt, was all I had. But at least that certainty was something I could get my teeth into, just as it had got its teeth into me. There's no denying this truth that he's dying, and he will die one day. I had been right, I was still right, and I was always right. So the last paragraph says, once he had gone, I felt calm again. So he's outrageous at the chaplain. I mean, he's trying to tell him that he's a sinner. Why would I be a sinner? What wrong have I done? I mean, I don't know if there was an Adam or Eve, or there was some life before this life. But the only thing that I am aware of is this life and its authenticity or inauthenticity, whatever it may be. So he says, once he had gone, I felt calm again, but all this excitement had exhausted me and I dropped heavily to my sleeping bag. I must have had a longish sleep. For now, for when I woke, the stars were shining down on my face. So, fast forward, he says, with death so near, mother must have felt like someone on the brink of freedom, ready to start life all over again. No one in the world had any right to weep for her. and I too felt ready to start life all over again. So now that it's ending, I can live my life more passionately. It was as if that great rush of anger had washed me clean, emptied me of hope, and gazing up at the dark sky, spangled with its signs and stars, for the first time I laid my heart open to the benign indifference of the universe. To feel it so like myself, indeed, so brotherly, made me realize that I had been happy and I was happy still, even in the face of death. For all to be accomplished, for me to feel less lonely, all that remained to hope was that on the day of my execution, there should be a huge crowd of spectators, that they should greet me with hugs and exasperations. So these are the last lines of last paragraph of the outsider or the stranger. So on the whole, what I have got a feeling about it is of brutal honesty. Yes, brutal honesty. One should not be so brutal as to kill anyone just because of nothing, because nothing matters. But yes, nothing matters. So that's all for the outsider for today. We can keep on discussing and discussing and discussing all the time. So I will uh, leave the discussion here, but it is open to you. You can always comment on the message box, in the messages and the chats. So you can keep on talking. And next um, episode, that would be like 15 days, 14 days from now. I'm planning to do this program every other Friday at 7 p.m. So unless there is somebody from the audience, from the viewers, wants it some other way. So the date for that would be, okay, so it would be 2nd of June, Friday, the 2nd of June at 7 p.m., and we will be discussing The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I'm sorry. So we will be discussing The Prophet by Khalil Gibran or Gibran. I mean, different peoples have different pronunciation for these, but God knows what he's called in his own country. So today, I'll leave it here and hope to see you again the next episode on 2nd of June, and we'll be discussing the prophet. And meanwhile, you can pick up your pen, write down some things, and post it to the WhatsApp number given below on this screen. Thank you so much and have a great day.